Irish car buyers are more interested in SUVs in 2026 than traditional saloons. So the days of the Ford Mondeo, the Opel Insignia and the Mazda 6 are long gone. But could this new BYD Seal 6 saloon turn your head? Because it's definitely good looking. It's got some very fuel efficient plug-in hybrid technology. But a big car like this, we do have certain expectations of it when it comes to comfort and refinement, particularly for long distance drivers. So can this deliver? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you in this video. The Seal 6 starts from an eye-catching €37,000 for 90. That's for the Boost with an EV range up to 55 kilometers from a 10 kilowatt hour battery. I think the comfort, like what I have here, will be of more interest to Irish buyers because of the spec, but also it has a bigger battery, so you can get up to 105 kilometers EV range on this. But what a great looking saloon. I really like this, and it's something different to all the SUVs on Irish roads. I like its elongated proportions. You've got this big bonnet that swoops down, very sleek, very aerodynamic, and stylish LED headlamps. So when BYD gets it right with the styling, it really gets it right. Now this one is the comfort, so it retails for about €40,000, €990, but with this optional paint, it's close to €42,000 on the retail price. Now there are just 4 colours to choose from. White is the standard colour, so there's not a huge amount of choice, but I do like this black on black finish. So 17-inch alloys is standard on the Boost, but this one gets the 18-inch. I think the black finish actually looks really cool. So altogether, a great looking car. Inside it feels well appointed, and there's an element of style to it that we've come to expect from BYD. You get these fully synthetic leather upholstered seats. There's a grey and black colour scheme like this one, or there's also actually a blue and black one. This is a lovely soft material, and this fabric-like material in the dashboard. Plainer finish down here, but it's not gloss black, and lots of car reviewers complain about that. It's not here, so that's all good. You do have some, I suppose, harder, scratchier plastics if you go looking for them, but generally what's in front of you, I think it's absolutely fine. Storage is good under the armrest, cup holders, place to rest a phone. There's also space under this bridge console. There are 2 different screen sizes, and the Comfort gets this larger screen. It comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but there is a lot of functionality in this. You will find yourself dipping and diving into menus, or if you have to adjust the ventilation controls. Now there is voice control, but there's also some shortcuts. So for example, if you pull down on the screen, you can customize the shortcuts in there. You also have your cheat codes for the climate settings. So 3 fingers across for the fan speed, 3 fingers down for the temperature. There are some buttons, however. Down here you've got one for your drive mode to adjust that quickly, the volume, demist the front windscreen, and you can also switch between the EV drive and the hybrid mode as well. You also have some buttons here on the steering wheel. That plastic in the centre feels a bit cheaper, but that feels good. That's a synthetic leather finish, so no real complaints here. Standard features on the Boost include power adjustment for these front seats. There's also a reversing camera, adaptive cruise control and blind spot monitor. But I do think the Comfort is more desirable because you've got your heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated front seats, the panoramic glass roof, ambient lighting, there's a 360 camera, and you also have your wireless smartphone charging. I do like the style of this Seal 6. It gives those big car vibes, and of course it has the full width light bar and a nice lighting signature as well, which is sort of a BYD staple at this point. But what about boot space? Well, you get 491 litres, but because it's saloon, just with the design, it's going to be trickier to access all that space because this opening is quite narrow. And if you have things at the very back, it's going to be hard to take them out. There's no clever storage either for the charging cables. They're just left here in the boot, but you can let down the rear seats 60/40. And the good news is, of course, that there is an estate version of this called the Touring. It has about 500 litres, so it's pretty similar in volume, but it's going to be eminently more practical because of the hatch style boot. Legroom is not as limo-like as it would be in the Skoda Superb, but of course this car isn't priced like a Superb either. But this is probably where it feels more like a C-segment car. Now that's not to say I don't have plenty of legroom, because I really do. That seat is set for me and I've got loads. You also have that completely flat floor, so the design is good, and even for a middle seat passenger they will find space to put their feet. Headroom for a saloon is also good, so I have that much extra. There's an armrest that your passengers can relax with, cup holders, 2 USB-C ports, there's vents, Isofix on the 2 outer seats, but also the front passenger seat. The Comfort model also has a little bit more power, so it's 212 horsepower, 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds, and because it has BYD's super hybrid, plug-in hybrid technology, it gives this very EV-like driving experience. So for the most part it's quiet, it reacts like an EV in terms of the instant responsiveness when you touch the accelerator. Occasionally you do hear the engine at work. So for example, going up a hill or a mountainous road, you can actually hear it working and whirring there in the background. But for the most part, it's not a feature of the driving experience, and it just gives a nice bit of refinement. There are a few different drive modes that you can access from the button on the centre console, but I'm leaving it in the normal mode and it's just fine because it's not a particularly sporty saloon. It does handle well in terms of that feeling of being connected to the road. There's plenty of grip, and the steering has enough weight in it so that you can accurately place the car on the road, but it's not particularly exciting, but it doesn't have to be. Where this really makes strides is in terms of both the size of the tank, the fuel tank that it has, so it gives an enormous range of well over 1,000 kilometres, but also excellent fuel economy. So my average is about 4.4 litres per 100 kilometres, which is really excellent, and I've done a lot of driving in this. I've been everywhere in it, and I've been on the motorway, rural roads, town, city, and it's doing really well. So who needs diesel when you've got a tank like this, but also really good fuel economy? And it is a plug-in hybrid, so you can charge that battery. It'll take just under 3 hours from an AC. It also has DC fast charging, but I expect most buyers will just charge it at home or at work if they have to. But the thing about BYD's super hybrid technology, as seen in the Sealion 5 and also the Seal, is that even if you're not diligent about charging your battery, it doesn't penalise you for that when it comes to fuel economy. It doesn't start drinking fuel. So I haven't charged this battery and it's run down to about 25%. It doesn't let it go down to zero. It holds on to some of it. But even still, it's doing very, very well. So it's a very fuel efficient car. It's not perfect though. So there's a lot of road noise. You can probably hear it now. I'm doing about 100 kilometers per hour. There's a national primary road. And then of course it gets even louder on the motorway. So I just find that difficult. And then when it comes to comfort, you feel every lump and bump in the road surface. So for me, it's not soft enough for a big saloon car like this. I wanted it to be one that you'd just sink into and you'd drift down the motorway and like magic carpet ride, but it's not quite like that. So that's a bit unfortunate because it ticks so many other boxes in terms of the design of the car, the efficiency, and the huge tank as well makes it ideal, but I'd just like it to be a bit more refined and a bit softer and more compliant. If you look at the rivals in this space, so Honda Civic is actually an interesting one because it's had a price cut. It's about €44,000 now, starting price. It's more fun to drive, I would say. Very good hybrid system and very sophisticated car. Then there's things in that higher bracket, like the Passat is making a comeback, and then there's the Skoda Superb Saloon as well, which definitely has limo-like legroom, but it's definitely more comfortable than this as well. There's things like Peugeot 408 in this price sphere, and even the Toyota Prius. So there are a few things going on here. I do love the design of this, the spec on the car. I love the fuel economy without having to charge. So plenty to like about it as well. I just think they need to tweak the comfort and refinement, particularly for long distance drivers, if you're doing a lot of distances in a car like this. So that's all from the new BYD Seal 6 Super Hybrid. You can read more over on changinglanes.ie. Lots of great car reviews over there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.